In today's video, I want to talk about the hardest part of starting a business that nobody really talks about. And see, everyone online, right, they talk about starting a business like it's super exciting, it's fun, and you should have passion for what you're doing, absolutely. But nobody talks really about the actual hard stuff associated with it. It's not, money, it's not coming up with an idea, it's not marketing, it's not building your website. It's something a lot of people don't expect, right? And what it boils down to is putting in a ton of work into something and not seeing a result, right? Where if you go to, like, let's say your job, you put in your work, you get a paycheck. It's linear. Where business, you could put in 200 hours into a project and not see a single cent. For me, building my software, and if you're new here, what we're doing is documenting the process of building a software company, right? We talk pretty much the lessons and takeaways from the process so far. For example, I'm learning a totally new skill set, which is essentially, how software works. Long and short of it, right, I'm building a wireframe, which is essentially like a clickable demo of software. There's a learning curve to this, right? Just to get one little thing to work, like I probably spent 4 or 5 hours. And you feel stupid, right? Because you're thinking, there's no way this should take me this long, but it does, and that's the thing. And these are the hard parts, right? How many people do you know are gonna spend 5 hours to basically get buttons to click, buttons to work? A lot of people will give up on that, and then the idea just kind of falls to the wayside. The next thing you know, weeks, months pass, and you're no closer to your goals. So it's slow, it's boring. Contrast that with like how online entrepreneurship sells it, right? They sell flashy, fast, the cars, the lifestyle. And this mismatch is why people quit early, period. And the hardest part, right, isn't necessarily like sitting down and executing on tasks. And I mean, it can be if like your brain is cooked from too much, bad activities, right? Too much social media, too much, fast food, stuff like that. We're not going to get into that. Maybe we could talk about that stuff at a later date. But the big stuff's just uncertainty. You have no idea, is this going to work or not? You have no idea if this is worth your time. You're probably going to get a lot of rejection before you start getting yeses. And boredom, right? Being able to sit there for 4 hours tweaking something, trying to get buttons to work essentially between pages and show different things when they're clicked, right? That's boring. That's tedious. It's mind-numbing work, if I'm being honest, right? So if you expect these things from the start, you're going to be in a lot better position to push through them, opposed to, quitting and when they get hard. And, a lot of the time quitting in business isn't always like, hey, I quit, right? Throw up the flag, right? It's more of just like, hey, you hit a roadblock and you stop, right? You stop working on it. You don't want to go back into it, and it slowly dies out, right? Those are the things. So if you're just starting out, right, like understand the hardest part isn't going to be your idea or the money. It's going to be sticking with the boring, uncertain work long enough for it to pay off, right? And this could be months. This could be even years in some cases, right? And that's the stage I'm at right now. Basically just been grinding an idea for, the past month, right? And we're about to be like getting our first initial prospect feedback in the next couple of days, hopefully by the end of this week, right? So that should be like a video I'll make next week as far as like what that looked like. What are the key takeaways from that lesson? So like if you want the highlight reel, you're not going to find it here. These are the real lessons like along the way. If you want to see what this process looks like from start to finish, subscribe to the channel, browse through the videos, and hopefully they help you along the way. Guys, I'll see you next video.